An initial 4-day ceasefire between the Syrian army and the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces has been extended for a further 15 days. The new ceasefire took effect on Saturday evening. It follows 2 weeks in which the army has managed to seize several former SDF strongholds in the north and east of the country. The further pause is aimed at giving Kurdish fighters more time to integrate into the Syrian army. It also allows for the safe transfer of ISIL prisoners from detention facilities formerly controlled by the SDF. The group says it is committed to the US-brokered agreement. Well, the SDF has withdrawn to 3 Kurdish-majority cities in Syria. It's a significant loss of territory for the group that controlled roughly a third of the country just 2 weeks ago. In Raqqa, in the northeast, there's an uneasy calm in place.
We are now at Panorama Roundabout. This is the most advanced front line. We have our forces deployed all around here and the comrades have high morale. As far as it takes, we will not attack. But they might attack. That barrier line is the most advanced line. Our forces are on this side and al-Shara's people are on the other side of the barrier. We are ready if the war erupts.
Zain Basravi is live for us in the city of Raqqa in northeastern Syria. Good to see you, Zein. So a 2-week extension on this ceasefire. How is that being received and how will it likely be used?
Well, I'll tell you, it is being received very positively here in Raqqa. Last night, the scenes again, 2 nights in a row of celebrations. People here in the square behind me handing out candy and flowers and drinks, and there was a real celebratory mood. Not just because the ceasefire had been extended, or that's what people were hoping for in the hours before it was announced, but also what they've seen in the last couple of days is the release of minors from Al-Aqtan prison, where they say the SDF had banged up a bunch of minors and children and innocent people on unjust charges. So what the Syrian army has done is take control. What the Syrian administration that's come in here from the Ministry of Interior has done is go through all of those case logs and look at anyone that's underage, that was unjustly accused, and they're separating the dangerous detainees, the ISIL prisoners, from everyone else and slowly going through the files and trying to get people out that don't deserve to be in there. That certainly lifted the mood of residents here in Raqqa. And they're also looking forward to the possibility that these 2 weeks will be used to cement a long-term ceasefire and then focus on reconstruction, really stabilizing the communities like Raqqa and other cities all across the country. One thing people tell us most is what they want to see is schools reopen. We see young people everywhere. It's quite striking. There's a very large young population, and schools have officially been shut down or not operational in a meaningful way for about a decade. What we've heard from the SDF when the ceasefire was struck was a statement in which they said they reaffirmed their commitment to the agreement and their dedication to respecting it and contributing to the de-escalation and protection of civilians for the creation of necessary conditions for stability. It's all the right language we're hearing from the SDF. The Syrian Ministry of Defense saying the ceasefire extension comes in support of the American operation to evacuate ISIS prisoners from SDF prisons. And that really does give us a sense of the other side of this. There's enormous international pressure on Damascus to make sure that as members of the US-led coalition against ISIL, that they maintain their responsibilities in terms of controlling these detainees, making sure that they don't get out, that they don't escape, that ISIS doesn't reconstitute, and that they are transferred to Iraq or wherever else they need to be. So there are really 2 priorities: maintaining international legitimacy for Damascus, but also domestically doing what the people need to maintain popular support for the Syrian army, for the Syrian interim government, and for the SDF. Maintaining that popular support also matters for their long-term viability as a minority population with a say in the country's future.
Zein, despite the right kind of words, as you say, coming from the SDF, what does this extension mean for those pockets of SDF resistance that we've seen in certain towns? I mean, surely it gives them more time to regroup rather than simply integrate, no?
Absolutely. On both sides, the Syrian army and the SDF have taken the ceasefire, the 4-day ceasefire, and likely will continue to do so. They're shoring up their defenses, they're shoring up their lines. They're making sure that if a fight erupts again, both sides will be primed and ready to go. And we're hearing that rhetoric consistently. In between all of the friendlier rhetoric, we're also hearing posturing that signals that they're both in a position of strength. And they both intend on negotiating, hopefully, from that position of strength. The key now for the next 2 weeks is to make sure reintegration or integration into the army, a centralized Syrian government and military, these are all big picture things. Crucially, for the next 2 weeks, it's just about making sure that they don't start shooting at each other again. And even more of a microcosm is what's happening around Kobani, for instance. In the days before this ceasefire was struck, and in the last 24 or 48 hours, we've been hearing from the SDF, from Kurdish leadership, that they're very concerned about the state of affairs inside Kobani. Water and electricity has been shut off. Food supply lines have been closed because of the road closures around it. The Syrian army preparing to set up new front lines for any sort of flare-up or flashpoint around Kobani, a Kurdish-majority SDF stronghold. And we've heard call-outs from humanitarian organizations concerned about the population there, which is around 400,000 people. And the SDF has also said they feel like they're under siege. So what we're likely to hear over the course of this first day of a 15-day ceasefire is the current circumstances in Kobani. Hopefully, from the SDF or Kurdish side, they'll be looking for some relief from that sort of siege impact that they felt from the Syrian army. And it'll be small successes like that that really lead the way forward for long-term stability.
Yeah, conditions in the city of Kobani, big question marks over that at the moment. Zein, many thanks. Zein Basravi in Raqqa.
Don't miss out, get the full picture. Subscribe to Al Jazeera for reliable news and expert insights. Like, share, stay ahead.